Hi guys, how are we feeling? Hello, hello, hello. I am not ready. I gotta be honest. How are we? Let me put my microphone in a proper position because I haven't done that yet. Hello, hello. We are here. Hi, hiya, Fire Queen. Let me say hi to everyone. Marty was in chat before I even started streaming. Hello, hello. Hiya, Sim. There's a dancing dino. That loser who draws. Welcome, welcome. Hiya, Fire Queen again. Hi, Angel. Hi, Phoenix. Hiya, Captain Kilroy. And hi, Sam. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Vulcan. Vulcan's here. I feel like Vulcan has a specific would enjoy what we're doing today, especially considering as much as I know about you, Vulcan. How are we feeling? It's been a couple weeks. I'm trying my best to do Wednesdays, but man, uni work beats uni working. Sometimes it's yes. In case you don't know, guys, we're going to be doing some doodling today. In case you don't know, I actually asked on YouTube and on Discord. It is a very red and pink chat. It looks very red and purple to me. But that is true. Yes, I did a poll on what we were going to draw today, and I'm going to be honest. I did not expect the outcome to be the outcome, so I kind of was scrambling to get stuff together before stream. I got back at like 10 to 6. I did way too much today. I planned too much. Well, hello, Vulcan. Aliens on a KT art stream. Count me in. Exactly. Vulcan, thank you so much for resubbing, my dude. Hiya, hamster. Hi, dragon. Hello, everybody. Breaking the red, pink, purple chat. Awesome. We got a full rainbow. We like full rainbows. Oh, man, guys. So we had some options today. And I've got to be honest, I was not prepared for the outcome of the options today. So basically, I was kind of like, I definitely want to do a doodle stream. Let's see, what could I be doodling? We got a 2-year badge? Since when? Hold up. Since when has Dragon got a 2-year badge? We've got another scroll. Let's go. Hello. Thank you so much, my dude. When did this happen? When did this happen, Dragon? Did I miss the message? Was it in the intro? No. Dragon, when did this happen? when did stuff just did you think? Resubbed. I've just seen your 23 month resub, but I don't see your 20. Well, thank you so much for all the support, my dude. Welcome to the Scroll Club. Let's go. So yeah, I was thinking about what we're gonna draw today. What could we be doing? And I had a couple of ideas, and I think they're all kind of cool ideas and stuff that I might. 2 years is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I feel very old thinking about 2 years, that people have been around here for 2 years. But yes, I'm kind of like very confused as to what I actually won in the end. So the options that we had, and I'm still very motivated for all of them. So we'll see. Maybe if we finish one of them earlier today, we'll continue the next. But the 3 points were, because, you know, it's October, officially, it's the 2nd of October, we could speedrun some Inktober prompts. That was one of them. Then we have a landscape drawing of Minecraft's Pale Garden, plus my thoughts to the new biome. I have thoughts. And also Simon has thoughts, so we could get Simon in here for that if we do that. Because it's very funny. Do you get like many months in advance? I don't think so. Because 21 days ago was the 23-month anniversary. I don't know. I don't see the most recent thing. And then the third option that we have is designing an alien. So, just as some background, all you know is you have a scroll. Awesome. Maybe it automatically continued. I don't know. Third one is I've got a university assignment. And I think I can show you guys the exact assignment without docking myself. Doxing myself. I need to first delete some other pictures though. Righty-ho. Let me just quickly read through the text. I don't think there's anything that says anything about anything here. Which is specific, I know. I'm going to quickly get that picture in here. So. And we're not going to do the full assignment because that would be really weird. Don't duck yourself, kids. Yes, let me just triple read. I apologize for the dead space. But I did read this through before. I'm just being extra careful here. Docking is an important part of the human spaceflight. It is true. But what if I accidentally dock myself? Dang it, guys. You can't leave me with the word slip, man. I think we're good. Shout at me if you see anything that might hint at docking. Why do you want to dock someone? Don't dock people, that's rude. Righty-ho. Let's go over to my iPad then. So, we're not going to do everything of this. Basically, what the part of this is that we're going to do is the design part, the drawing part. But let me read the never anchor a boat in a harbour. Never love an anchor. Tell me once again. That's the wrong song. That's the wrong song. I'm singing A Moon Will Sing from the Crane Wives. At least still the same artist. Anyway. So, the assignment that I got, which is a really flipping cool assignment, can we just say? Awesome course. Like, what university assignment is like, design alien? Talking as I was thinking, no, Dragon, that's not how this works. So, the assignment is, many species of life have special features to give them an advantage of their ecosystem and to keep themselves alive. For example, the great white shark can sniff out blood from many kilometers away, and the giant water lily grows up to 20 centimeters in a day. Awesome animals. Well, I guess the water lily isn't an animal. Well, did essentially the same assignment when you're like 10 or 11. I mean, this is literally a dream come true. In this assignment, we want you to think about these different features and design your alien. Think about what kind of planet your alien will live on and what the environment would be like there. Ah! Let's ban person. Person. It's not even a person, it's a bot. Bot alert. Oh, my gosh. Hello? Slash ban amorph. I can't. Man, this is really. I'll be right back. We're back in a second. Ah! Twitch. Boop. I can't. This is going so well. This is great. You can't see any bots? Oh! Only I can see it! Only I can see it because it says it is lightly a harasser. And it's restricted. Oh, interesting! Only the streamer can see it. Zim can't even see it. That's weird. I'll leave it then. Fine, whatever. Oh, they should ban them anyway, though. That's probably why it's not automatically typing in. Rightio. There we go. Took me like forever to understand. It wouldn't automatically type in the name because it was being hidden. Anyway, think about what kind of planet. Also very confused to the fact that my Twitch dashboard is not showing my screen. You guys can see my screen, right? Oh yeah, there we go. We're here. We're doing species ever without you. We haven't started yet, Ivan. It's all good. You're here on time. So what kind of planet your alien would live on and what environment would it be like there? Write down 10 features of your alien. As a minimum, 4 should be on senses. Use real features that life forms on Earth have, and you can use examples from any species, from microbes to plants to animals. Write a short text about the planet that your alien is best, and why your alien is best for it. Twitch didn't give you a notification, so you didn't see it until now. We are here. We have just started, my dude. We have just started. We've been live for 13 minutes, so you don't miss anything. So, and then the whole best thing is be creative and convince us. Sketch your alien and indicate the different features you wrote down in the drawing. And that's what we're going to focus on. I'm not going to write any texts here because, that's a bit boring to stream, but we're going to do some drawing because this is a drawing stream, guys. So, righty-ho. I've already made some thoughts. I already have some thoughts and some ideas, but I kind of want to brainstorm a little bit with you guys as well because I think that would be fun to see, like, what different ideas we have, what else we can come up with as a community, as a group. Now, this is obviously this isn't very serious. This assignment is timed extremely well. In about 11 days, we will launching a spacecraft to the moon of Jupiter to look for direct signs of life on the surface of ocean life. Yes, yes, I can't wait. This was also in a lecture. It's so cool, and I do wonder if that is part of the reason why we have this assignment. So I've just realized I've got the worst earrings on for these headphones. I'm gonna have to take these earrings off. Give me a second. Beep, beep. They're super cute earrings, but doesn't work. If you want creativity to flow, just note something down like filter feeder can include as whales, flamingos, spiders, barnacles, and Christmas tree worms. Yes, lovely. They found an alien that I draw. Wow, imagine. Probably, if they find the alien that I draw, I'd probably have to draw some sort of microorganism. Spread my conception of a given trait. Spread my conception of a given trait. Aha, yes. Many options, yes. Maybe I'll ask what is a Christmas tree worm? Hello? Christmas. We are already off topic. I can't type. My keyboard is really far away. But it work. Christmas tree work. Christmas tree worm. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, what the heck? What the heck? How dare these guys exist? Right, hold on. Look at these guys. They're so flipping adorable. What the heck? They look like Christmas. How are they worms? How are they worms? They are so cute. Look at them. They look so poisonous. But I totally see the filter feeder. That they would be a filter feeder. Because I was like, worms? Filter feeders? Oh. The world's wonderful when you dive into obscure... This one's blue. Obscure taxa, absolutely. New obsession found. I love them. With millions of them. Oh my gosh, Sam. Good for you, my dude. I love them. That's so cool. Maybe my alien lives in a dramatic lagoon. Maybe. So, I have already had some thoughts. You lurk, my dude. Enjoy the lurkage. I already have made some notes and some thoughts on, these are like just stream of consciousness notes. And like a silly little sketch. I was like at a cafe today, and while I was drinking my coffee, I was just writing down these notes. So, fun times. Does the prof know I'm streamer doing this as a group project? I don't think they disencourage a group project. They're so cool. The professors are like so happy with what they're doing and like so motivated. They just want you to get you thinking. Oh, Vulcan, you can't drop links, my dude. I'm afraid only the mads can do the links. Right. So, I have the link to Europa. Oh, I can't wait to. If they find something, that would be so cool, and it feels more possible. So the whole background on the mission to Jupiter's moons is they are ice moons. So there is water on there, and the whole idea that you have life and I'm just speaking out of background knowledge, so do correct me if I say something wrong. The whole reason for life to exist is you kind of need water. Most life that we know of is based on some form of water. Usually based on oxygen, but also like water is also very important. And because you have frozen water on some of Jupiter's moons, Europa for sure. Is Titan one of them as well? I can't remember. For some reason I have Titan in my brain, but maybe that's because I just have Titan on the brain anyway. But now they're sending probes to see if there's anything below the surface there. And actually there is there were some people who came in and talked about it recently at my uni, how they're kind of creating a drone that will be able to swim underwater without any proper propulsion system, just using pressure, I think, which is cool. Graze off microorganisms in the air with a large mouth. Baby's first AOL. Exactly! You guys are reading the notes. I haven't even started looking at the notes. Hi, Mango, and bye, Mango. Enjoy training. Europa is a main focus, but there's also JUICE probe launched by ESA recently to study other moons of Jupiter too. That might have been what I heard. Because, European Space Agency is what I hear a lot of, in Europe. But yes, because otherwise it was always focused on Mars and like life on Mars, and there's still very many possibilities that life exists or could have existed on Mars. But now it's really interesting shifting the focus to places that we know have water, because it's always like a search for water on Mars. I think Mars has ice, doesn't it? Does Mars have ice? But the moons are ice planets, right? Well, the moons have so much ice. Dragonfly mission launching in 2028. A nuclear-powered drone to fly around Titan for more depth. And research of the moon was one of the few with a known atmosphere. Yes, that was it. That's probably why I had Titan in the brain with the atmosphere. So here are my thoughts that I was just like chucking down, right? Mars's ice has a lot of frozen CO2. That's it. Has ice at the poles and possibly under the surface. Yes. Okay. Well, frozen CO2, man. That's just all these space things are just crazy to think how just in an area without, human intervention, where you like lower the pressure, lower the temperature and all that, you can freeze CO2. During the right conditions, the craters there can even be surface liquid on Mars for brief periods. Ooh, interesting. There's so much like fun facts that I don't know, so I'm very happy. I will say I'm very happy that Ivan and Vulcan are here, because I was kind of like in my brain going like, these guys will know, will be able to give me more information. Help me with my assignment, guys. But it's just basically like sharing knowledge and the fun facts that we each have. So, and if anyone else here is a biology nerd or a space nerd, then definitely go. You hit my niche today. There should be a problem all stream. I hope you know this. Awesome, Vulcan. I love it. I'm really glad that we get to do this. This prompt was, or this idea was losing in the poll when I headed out today, and I was like, oh, okay, probably no alien today. I'll still write down some notes. And then I get back and the aliens won, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing an alien today. So, here are my thoughts, and this is just like stream of consciousness. We could use all of these, we could use none of these, we could just throw together something. Like I said, the whole idea of this is very, very free. By the way, guys, if this concept of creating aliens that could biologically be possible, if that whole idea fascinates you, there's this series on Netflix that is exactly that. It's called Alien Worlds, I think. If you look for Alien Worlds on Netflix, and that is exactly what this is. It's basically astrobiologists, biologists, physicists, and all scientists coming together to create worlds that could harbor life. and have a look at what that life could look like in really creative ways. I need to rewatch that series again. Maybe I should have done that as inspiration for this, but I also felt like maybe I'd be taking too much inspiration from the series if I did it. But it's a very good series for exactly that kind of thing, so for sure go and check that out if you're able to. So, here are my notes. Stream of consciousness. While I was sipping on my coffee, imagine me in a nice little cafe, sipping on my little coffee. Here was my thought. I kind of had the thought with, you know how we have a day and night cycle with how the Earth spins. What if this planet or moon or whatever this creature's on spins really slowly? So like the night times are very long, and so that every time, yeah, I was kind of like swim bladder is exactly also a thought that I had. As someone who adores world-building sci-fi ideas, is brilliant too. I love that we found just a niche. I love that a lot of people are very interested in this, considering this is very different to what we usually do with, block people. We're in the sci-fi space now. I guess we're often in like a Hunger Games like sphere with the Life series, so that's also kind of sci-fi, but very, very different sci-fi. So the whole idea is that when it turns night, it'll be night for like, if you think of Earth, months to maybe even years. And then there's just like a hibernation type of thing where just the metabolism is almost at zero. And I'm not really thinking like a bear kind of hibernation where they just sleep for the winter. I'm thinking more of it gets so cold that everything freezes there. Katie, you fool, you've activated my sleep aging program. Maybe the time for a full rotation of the planet is about the same as full orbit of its star. Maybe that. Or maybe it doesn't rotate at all. That could be where, correct me if I'm wrong on the physics of this, but potentially if it had is it a large enough moon? If the moon is big enough to hold it in like a gravitational lock. I can't remember the concept that I'm going off of an astronomy course that I took last year, and I can't quite exactly remember how this works. But isn't it, if there's enough gravitational force on the planet by something else, that it stops the spinning? Tidal lock is the term? That was it, tidal locking, yes. So that it stops the spinning. So what if you could also think that the planet doesn't spin at all, and it's just the rotation around the sun is what gives like the different sides of the planet its light. So that could be it. That could also be a good idea. But basically the whole idea is that there's just a very long night where basically the entire world freezes and stops. And I'm kind of thinking as like freezing like a tardigrade. If you don't know what a tardigrade is, it's like a mini 8-legged little squishy guy that looks really flipping adorable. Google tardigrade, or what's it called? Bärtierchen in German. What's it called in English? Hold on. Tardigrade. We had this on Monday. This was our lecture on Monday. Water bears. They're called water bears. Yes, that's them. I could have looked at chat. So this is very interesting because this is a creature that is able to sustain extreme low temperatures and extreme high temperatures as well. That's true actually. I didn't think about that. So extreme low and extreme high temperatures. Yes, I didn't think that far. This is why you guys are here. Oh, interesting. So they're real, I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Any kind of species that would exist outside of Terran life would have to be some sort of extremophile, because the probability of having like the same atmosphere and the same pressure that we have, I guess in our eyes, it would have to be an extremophile, because everything would be different on another thing. What are the conditions of this place that dictates weather? I don't know. It dives deeper during the day to avoid heat, maybe. Maybe. Woo! Depending on the orbital distance and the rotational axis, we've got either a Sahara situation or an Antarctica situation. Both have extremes of temperature as deserts, but range is altered. Ooh. Man, we've got some extremes here. Okay. Currents like water currents. Yeah, I'm currently thinking, so I'm guessing every time that it would get into the nighttime, we'd have like, the water would also freeze. If we have water on this planet, if we have H2O on this planet, that's the question. Do we have H2O on this planet? And also, I don't know I have not thought about weather at all. We don't need to know like the entire ecosystem of this planet. Just maybe like the general beats. Because we're more focusing on the alien instead of where it lives. There's something akin to how alligators survive freezing water. Oh, they do they? I didn't know that. Getting more of a gas giant vibe from this planet? That is also my question. Like, that was also a thought that I had. Here's the thing. What if it were like a gas giant? So here's the thing. The next point we have is a planet with a dense atmosphere. And this is something that I distantly remember from the Netflix series Alien Worlds, is that there was a planet that had such a dense atmosphere that the creatures could basically very easily swim through the air. Especially you ramble about Gaia chemistry, more about the Cretan biosphere. That's the way that it is. But we could extend this. I mean, this is the assignment, and it's also we could extend this thought experiment to planets. Absolutely. Migrates north-south during the day and back during the night. Ooh. Here's a thought. What if it migrates to follow the sunset? What if throughout the year it just goes around the world and migrates? I'm definitely, surely, if there's multiple species on this world, there must surely be species that do that. That migrate following kind of the sunset. So you don't have either extreme, but you're just constantly on the move. Galileo, probably on Jupiter, slowed down extremely with its parachute during descent into the atmosphere. Then it would get loads of food too, probably. Yeah. Migration added to the law. It would have to cross oceans then. That was the question, do we have oceans on this planet? Because if we have a planet with a dense atmosphere, and we kind of got the idea that it swims through the air, these are all things that we need to add. Do we do a migrating? I like the idea of a migrating animal. I like the idea of that because that kind of fits really well with other stuff that I have. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. I have here a point of silicon-based life form. This is kind of like the idea of its main predator could have a little light thing. Ooh. Like how, what are they called? You know the fish from Nemo? The dark fish from, the fish that with the light from Nemo? Where the females have the light and they're much bigger than the males, and the males just attach to the females forever. What are they called? Anglerfish. Very funny, Sam. Yes, thank you. Combined with the temperature differences fuel nutrient upwellings. What are nutrient upwellings? As in, like, there's far more nutrients around where there is light. We do very much combine light with more life, quote unquote. What you consider life. I have the point here of silicon-based life form, and this was kind of just. I don't know if I want to go for this point, because we had a talk, and let's see if I can. I'm gonna have to look for this on my iPad and not show you guys because I'm scared of doxage. But we had a whole lecture of how life works, in the sense of life. There could be a silicon-based life form. Because it's very close to carbon. Because here on Earth, all life is based on carbon. Yeah, I can't show you this. This shows everything with my university. It's got like the university's logo in the corner. But if you were to look at like the periodic table, you have the second row, and this carbon is on the 6th spot of the second row. And then you have silicon, which is underneath carbon. And that's because it has 2 valence... Or like it has 4 valence electrons that it could pick up, and 4 it could donate. Time to dock myself. So nutrient upwellings are the oceans of deep, cold waters have a chance to well up against things like seamounts. They provide a great source of. Oh yeah, that does less active carbon. Hence the speculation. Exactly. And in that sense, a silicon-based life form would combust with carbon, if I'm not. No, isn't silicon more reactive than carbon? Is it less active? Aha. Yeah, environment with a silicon-based life form would have to be very cold, devoid of oxygen and water, and instead of water, have like a different type of like solvent that it can combine to. This is getting into chemistry that I don't know very well, such as liquid methane or some sort of methyl compound to get to, which is actually similar to the atmosphere on Titan. Could be nitrogen. Would that work? Give me out uranium-based life form. I'm going like to the bottom. I don't know if that would work, but that I mean, I don't know my chemistry that well. Maybe. You madman. The idea for your planet would basically have the temperature difference at dusk provide an equivalent to the upwelling in a liquid ocean. Oh wow, interesting. Oh, because the atmosphere is so dense. Dude, that's so cool. Okay. Yeah, so we could have no oxygen and no water on this planet. Potentially no carbon? I don't know. No, you'd still have carbon. Right. So that's kind of like the idea. There's so many different different things about a silicon-based life form that I think it would confuse me maybe. I think it would be easier if we I think it breaks my brain too much because I'm not much of a chemistry nerd to have a oxygen atmosphere. So I don't know. I think we can still go for a very dense atmosphere if we do it oxygen-based, right? And we could still then have a carbon-based life form. I mean, which is less inventive, I guess, but I think my capacity to understand this goes beyond my understanding by definition. Yeah, if we stray too far from the Earth baseline, then we'd be quibbling over biochemistry. Yeah. Okay. Let's maybe not do silicon-based life form. Because that confuses me so much. So, oxygen. I find it so difficult also to talk about chemistry in English because all of the chemistry that I've ever done has been in German. You've seen it before, it's a horror. Okay. Uranian atmosphere. Sam? Sam. Who's radium? Your radium? Not my radium? Be a chlorine or a CO2 near liquid atmosphere. Ooh. I guess we wouldn't even necessarily need. Would we need a hot oxygen atmosphere? We don't need a very high percentage oxygen atmosphere, I guess. Poggers. Crowlander, what decade are you living in? Poggers. Back in the 2020. Hiya, Crow. Thank you for resubbing. 30 months! 30 months. Crow has subbed for 30 months. Flippin' heck. Hi, Crow. How you doing, brother? Hello. My gosh. Dude, is Critical Role out soon? I think it is, isn't it? Like, a couple weeks at most. This week? Next week? We gotta watch Critical Role, you and I, my brother. We gotta sit down and watch the Vox Machina. On Thursday. Of course it's on Thursday. Got a cold, otherwise vibing. Just imagine you sat there, just bopping your head with a tissue in your nose. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Hey, dude. You got D&D on Saturday, right? I've got Saturday afternoon off for once. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Also, new sub badge time, I guess. 30 months. Is that the next sub badge thing? This is going to be a case of Eartha Katie. Hold on. Just going to finish my thought here. Oxygen. Is that here right? Oxygen. It looks weird. Subscriptions. Subscriber badges. The next one is 2.5 years. How many months is that? Thank you. I thought it looked weird. Like I said, chemistry was always in German. The next one is 2.5 years. How many months is that? That's 20. Oh, that is new sub badge time. That's 30 months. Ah, Crow. 39. Crow, why? Thank you so much for the support, brother. But also, I don't have a sub badge. Oh gosh. What do we do with another sub badge? It was so easy at the start. We had a bunch of hearts. We need ideas for sub badges, guys. Should we have the alien that we draw the sub badge? At least you still have the first thing, so you don't even actually need a sub badge. Because it'll never show up for you anyway. You have 2 months? You have 2 months? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, hold on. What can we do? I'm overwhelmed. A cherry blossom bush? For the current Minecraft thing? I don't know. We need more streams where we do iconic things. That's gonna have to be what we do. I'm just trying to think. So anything from current... I'm just thinking for the current project I'm working on, whether there's anything that I could, as a central part. I think the Watcher logo is almost the most part of that. You wrote flower as a sub badge, but that's old. Yeah, it doesn't really follow our theme. By the way, guys. By the way, speaking of project, I've been drawing real life. What about an Evo SMP icon? I think that might be copyrighted for them. I don't think I should. Because that feels it feels like a very iconic, logo. By the way, guys, if we're talking about projects, the day I've been working on, I've been drawing. And I will say, I've been suffering a bit from creative burnout and generally art block recently. And I think that's something that I do want to kind of talk about in a future stream because It's the kind of thing that happens to anyone. I feel like I'm on the way out of it, but it's a slippery slope where, you know, a couple steps up, couple steps down. Which is why you haven't like been hearing a lot from me recently on the online worlds. But I use an Evo icon in my animatics. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't monetize those animatics though, and the sub badge by definition is monetizable. But a real life reference, what would be a real life reference? Also, I haven't really done anything about real life. But anyway, so yeah, been feeling a little bit creatively burnt out, but I have started drawing again, like in between stuff, and I have been working on something, and I've finished this, guys. I finished the stained glass window. It's all done. I don't think I ever shared it. I finished this weeks ago, and I never shared it. I forgot to. A VR headset. That's a question also. Would a VR headset be? I don't know. But yeah, the stained glass is done. Oh, Nini's in chat. Hi, Nini. We got it. Yeah. I was like back and forth so much with this. Really. A blur between a real hand turning into a Minecraft arm. I don't know if there's enough space to do that on a sub badge. The sub badge has to be really, really quick. Dog ward spotted? Yes. We have a dog ward spanner. Been here for a while already. Did I miss your... Was it your... That was the first time I noticed your message. I apologize if you have been messaging otherwise. But yeah, we have little things. And I want to talk through this a little bit. So you saw dog ward spanner in Martin's. We also have like a very slight hourglass in the back here. So that's the details there. I want to show a detail that kind of has like this vibrant, and that gives this thing so much vibrant color and makes it look like that light is on it. And you said hello before, don't worry. Oh, I missed your hello, sorry. Hi. That gives it like this vibrant glow and like kind of dynamics in color is, don't mess with Pearl, no you do not, is a very interesting technique that I'm just a big fan of. You see this very colorful layer that I'm on here right now? Look at what this looks like when I turn it off. Look at how the colors just immediately dull. Look how much more vibrant it is with it. Isn't that crazy? And this was like one of the last things I added. I was just kind of like, whoa. Because I've done this with every single stained glass window so far. And what this is let me just take this to 100% and do it to normal. It's just a mad swirling of different colors. It's just a rainbow. And you put it onto screen, which is a layer thing. And then you put it to, I've just done that. Put it to like 30%. Yeah, it's very trippy. It's like 40%. And then you got it. Just make sure that I'm back to normal. There it is. And it just adds like a bit of variation of light and color coming through. So like Pearl's trousers down here, they're green, but everything else in her image is red and blue, and these actually grey trousers. So I think it's really cool. It makes me happy. I've done this with every single stained glass art before, but I think I kind of did a little bit more for this one. Trade secrets, really, exactly. Anyway, Sam has just pointed something out that I definitely want to go into. Is that a soulbound line from Pearl to Scott and Grian to Scar? It is. There is a soulbound line, and I wanted to have it kind of be a bit subtle. But if you kind of have a closer look here, you see like these lines in the background here. Oh, and Martin, you saw it. Yes, you saw it. Oh, that makes me happy because it was one of those details where I wasn't sure people would notice. Yes, it does. So you see this line and then also this line. This line is a lot thicker than the other. And it kind of has a line going from Pearl. And she kind of has a heart here. Do you see the heart shape? Here on her top. They all have like heart shapes. And some of them it's more visible than others. It's very visible here for Scott. Very visible here for Grian. I think Martin's is the least noticeable. Hiya, Ismini. Hello, hello. Welcome, my dude. Welcome. But yeah, I have soulbound strings kind of going off, and they're in thick lines. going to their soulbound. So we have Pearl and Scott. We have it going from Scar to Grian here. Kind of loops around and then goes to Grian. And then you have Martin's, and his goes off screen. Just to kind of like reference that Cleo has also won a live series, be it an unofficial one. But yeah, that's kind of like, that's I thought I'd reference double life in all of them like that, because I love the detail. I love that, the kind of idea that all the soulmates that had issues in double life, they've all won a live series, every single one of them. I don't think we can count Ren and Bigby to that, unless Ren and Bigby are the next two to win a life series. That would be fantastic. Also, Ren, please come back to the live series. We miss you. Have I ever done Empire's SMP art? I have, actually. I did. If you look on the Everon channel, there's a... on Everon art, there's a, like, the fashion meme. Where it goes, fashion, put it on me. Don't you want to see these clothes on me? Fashion, da 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 da. I'm anyone you want me to be. That, but the Empire's guys in dresses. If you wanna be my lover. And other Empire's art that I've done is I did a whole comic. This was years ago. This was 3 years ago that I did this. I did a whole comic for Sausage's evil arc of a scene in Empire Season 1 when he thanked Jimmy for killing the dragon. And so I did this as well for Empires, because that was so cool. And you know what was really cool about this one? About this comic is I posted this one on Instagram and Sausage followed me. Sausage followed the Tales of Everon Insta account, which was very cool. Felt very, very, very cool. I was very like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Sausage is so supportive of a fan artist out there. I love it. But yeah, this was one of the first things. This was the first thing I did of Empires, and I think that's like one of Sausage is a Cajun. Yeah, so that I did that, and I also did the Empires thing. And I think that's the only live series stuff. The only live series stuff. I've done so much live series stuff. That's the only Empire stuff that I've done. So here's the Empires and dresses, or at least Jimmy's part of that. And also, thank you so much for following, Ismini. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome. It's lovely to have you here. So yeah. We love Jimmy in his denim skirt. Let's get back to where we were. Have I got all? I don't think I was finished here, was I? Yeah, we have the details of the soulbound, and they all go to a heart. I thought it was kind of cool that they all have a heart, because life series hearts. That's the way. Took me a while to find stream. Well, it's lovely to have you here, my dude. No matter how long you've been here. I appreciate every single one of you that takes time out of your day just to hang out and have a good time, But yes, on Martin's we have a Dogwarts banner. And just a very subtle hourglass in the background. I was a little bit lost as to what to do with Martin's, because I kind of really wanted to do the Dogwarts banner, even though it wasn't in the series that he won. But we are kind of like, we're referencing series that they didn't win in these drawings, especially with like the life, the soulbound connections to each other. That wasn't, only works with Pearl in theory. How do I do the glass art? Honestly, I just kind of have do I still have the sketch? Yeah, what I do is I'm going to remove all the other stuff. I just draw the character normally. And then I kind of draw over that with straight lines. Only straight lines. Martin's part of Dogwarts by heart. Season doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fair. True, it's on his limited life skin. That's the whole thing. And then I just, when it comes to coloring it in, is also a special way I do it. Is I go for one color, We're going to deactivate this here because you can see the background is all different colors. Hi, Suntix, how you doing, my dude? What I do with that is I only have actually one color that I draw with, but I have these multicolor brushes on Procreate. And if you Google like multicolor brush Procreate, you'll find a tutorial on how to make these brushes. I can't honestly remember how I made them. It was over a year ago. But if you look at what I'm doing here, and I should probably do this with a different color. Let's do this with a bright red. So if you look at this color that I'm drawing here, if I were to draw it again, it's a different color. It's very subtle with this one. Let's do it with this one. So this is more of a pink. This is a red. So every time I press down, it just kind of like within a spectrum of colors chooses a different color. And that's how I colored out the background. 2 weeks to no school. Let's go. Good for you, my dude. Run for your life. Drown in your sorrow and fears. Sorry. We've got... I've been loving Epic the Musical. Choking your blood and your tears. Scylla is a beast, literally. And then to finish off the entire drawing, kind of to add a bit of color to it, and I talked about this just now, I kind of have a layer of wacky colors all over it. Put it to a screen layer, which is kind of like an overlay, the way that layer overlays with different colors and works with different colors. And then I lower the opacity just to give it this really cool color effect, to kind of enhance the colors. And that's what I do. That's how I make these. Greek, so it kind of makes sense. Awesome! Out of curiosity, because we obviously have Greek mythology in a lot of our literature. When we go through, but I assume that maybe you guys in like your education in Greece, you might have a little bit more Greek mythology. Do you have that? Because it's definitely a part of my education. It's usually what we kind of start out with. We kind of go through the different epochs of history. We start out with Greek myths and philosophers and kind of like that in history class, and then we go up through the ages. Do you guys have more? Oh, well, I guess there's not a lot to compare with, but do you have a lot of like Greek myths in your literature classes? Do you have any insight on that? Because I'd be actually very fascinated. Yes, we do. We studied the Odyssey and the Iliad for a year each. Whoa, yo. Okay, wow, cool. I kind of really want to go to Greece for my education now. It's hard. Oh man. What I really want to do, I haven't read the Odyssey yet. And Ancient Greek as well, gosh. I guess is that like as a separate language? In obviously you have like Greek lessons, like I have German lessons where I am. Your school takes a month at max. Yeah, we did like maybe half a year for all Greek myths. And we kind of divided the class into presenting different myths. I think the one that we did was Oedipus. And the reason that we did was, because there was like this guy who did a theatrical production of the myth of Oedipus and he played all the characters, and he was just in modern clothing, and it's just the way that he had his hat on in different ways was different characters. It was very, very fun. And so the whole reason that we wanted to do that myth and do a presentation to that myth is so that we could show we could show a video clip of this guy pretending to be Oedipus. Mostly like a second language. That's really cool. That's really cool. What app do I use? Procreate on the Apple iPad. So yeah. And some others did the Odyssey, but like, you know, you can't learn a lot in a 15-minute presentation. So my plan, when Epic finishes, when all the sagas of Epic are out, I'm gonna go and get myself a really pretty book of the Odyssey, because obviously every book that I own has to be pretty. I do judge books by their cover because we need the aesthetics here, and my bookshelf needs to look nice. But I'm gonna get myself a really nice edition of the Odyssey and read it, and for the first time with the context of having listened to Epic for years, I think that's going to be fun. Anyway, we have really veered off course, guys. We have really veered off course. I'm surprised no one's shouted at me with Earth to Katie. We are going to continue with our alien, which is actually what we're doing today. Continue with our alien. We haven't done any drawing yet. We haven't done any drawing. Oh, you can see the sketch that I started. So we kind of left off deciding that the atmosphere on our planet should be oxygen. Because otherwise it just gets so confusing. We're back to school, so true. We're in a different lesson now. We're being very educational today. I have just realized, guys, I don't have my water with me. I actually haven't gotten my old water. Can you get? I will. Before we continue, I'm just gonna set you on this screen quickly. I decided on a uranium atmosphere. Yes. I'm gonna quickly go and get my water bottle because silly me did not grab it. Be right back. I'm back. We return. How we doing, chat? We're doing good. Righty ho. Back we go to the alien times. So, we're not doing a uranium atmosphere like Sam suggested. I don't know if that would work. I don't think if you can have like uranium and other kind of heavy metals in gas form. Does that work? Chemistry nerds, does that work? Sorry, Sam. I'm sorry to disappoint you. My tiny brain could not comprehend that. And so, continuing all of the points so far for those peeps who have joined since we started. The whole context with this is that I need to design an alien. I have a university essay and I need to design an alien. So, like, I obviously go to the best university ever if they have an assignment like this. No one can tell me otherwise. And you can have uranium particles in the atmosphere. Yeah, but they are still like solid particles. Are they solid particles? I guess. No, hold on. You can't have solid particles. It's multiple particles working together. That's what creates a solid, liquid, or gas state. Ignore me. Imagine being a chemistry nerd. I'm good with maths and physics. So I guess it depends on pressure. Ouchie. That's some spicy air there. Imagine understanding science. Oh dear. 150 to 330 words. Yeah, we're going to probably write a little bit more than that, I'm going to be honest. Because we already have a whole bunch of ideas for this planet. But this is the assignment that my university has given me. And what we're actually kind of wanting to focus on is we do want to focus on this part here. Sketch your alien. Whoops, we haven't done anything yet. We've done nothing. We've been so unproductive. We have not drawn yet. We have been live for an hour. We haven't drawn yet. This is an art stream, guys. You could get gaseous. You could get gaseous heavy metals, but at that point we're talking about so hot the resulting life would swim in stars for vacation. Okay. So no uranium. No uranium. Average art experience. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It was very funny. You do nothing for an hour. Yes. We're just you know, making it realistic for you guys. Hiya Hydra, by the way. That's standing for a geek stream, hour minimum before art begins. Hey, I felt really bad, guys. A couple of weeks ago, we trolled our mods, Koning and Multi. And King Multi did a reaction stream to the trollage because he couldn't be there live. And I felt really bad because I was watching back his reaction. And I felt so bad because it took us so long to start drawing. And Multi was like, she's not doing anything. She's not doing anything. Earth the KT, come on. Ash made a compilation of his stream. How did I miss that? Dude, Sam, have you still got the link? Can I be added at sharing cool stuffs at the compilation? Because I kind of want to see that. How did I not see that? Posted it on Discord earlier today? Okay, I gotta go have a look about that. All the times he says no. Dude, that is dedication. That is gonna be like 1,000 no's. Because that's so, just ping me, thank you. I love that. But yeah, I felt really bad for Multi's reaction stream because it took me so long to start. Yeah, to start the stuff. Okay, so what we have so far we kind of talked about our planet more than we have talked about our organism. And so the whole idea for our planet is that it's in tidal lock with one of its moons. We'll say it has one moon so that we can focus on one moon that is so massive that the gravity of the moon means that the planet can not spin. We're getting very science and technical here, guys. It means the planet can't spin. Like our planet does. Our planet spins once every, around the axis once every 24 hours. You're at school currently. You enjoy school, my dude. We are pretty much school here as well. And so this planet can't spin on its own axis because it's gravitationally bound to the moon. We won't talk about the moon rotating around the planet. I think that confuses my brain. Gym day, free gym day. Oh, that good thing? Wait, not like our planet. Our planet can spin. Dang it. Brain, this is when I try to start speaking science. But what happens with the planet, so in theory, you'd have like one dark side of the planet. Like we have a dark side of the moon. The moon doesn't, you only ever see one side of the moon. We'd have one dark side of the planet, except for the fact that it rotates around its star. So if you think about it stationarily rotating around the star, within one entire orbital rotation, every side of the planet would be at some point highlighted with the sun. And this means that you get extreme temperatures. So either you're facing towards the sun, which is like desert. Just realized I love the fact that Stream Elements has an emoji that pops up on the stream chat because we have the emote wall. I've never noticed that before. But either you have like really, really hot times, like desert heat, searing heat, or you have ice age times on the dark side. You're in biology class, so this is funny. This is awesome. Awesome, we love it. Or you have the dark side of the planet, which is an ice age. Basically, everything freezes. Yeah, and we played around with the idea that this this animal that we're going to create, because I've decided on animal. I'm not going to do a plant or a microorganism. I kind of want to be able to draw something more than a single-celled organism or a plant. I teach you to tune, stream, and learn about alien life forms, because I am such a reliable source, Sam. I can't give you any kind of scientific papers to give my credibility. I looked at sparrows and great tits a couple of years ago and wrote a paper on that. Does that count? The great observation of feeder preferences in great tits and sparrows. Yes. Rowe et al. Close enough, you're hired. Honestly, the education system, especially in Switzerland, we need teachers. We desperately need teachers. And it has made me contemplate whether I should just, as a side job, become an English teacher, because I find English very easily and all I'd have to do is get one certificate and I could be an English teacher. For a planet to form like that is so incredibly unlikely, it's insane. We don't care. Same in Australia, yeah. It's really difficult. Let's be honest. For any kind of planet to have the possibility to hold life, Armstrong citation. Your source is that I made it up. To have any kind of planet that has the exact things that you need for it to support life, because life is so finicky, especially like carbon-based life and anything that requires oxygen and water. You're already so limited by pressure, by temperatures. Like you need to have liquid water in most cases, and there's like the probability of a planet like that existing with all those conditions where they're all met, so few and far between, so almost impossible. But space is infinite, and there's all that means in that infinity. Then that means that infinity, there has to be something out there. So are the animals, they're capable of adapting both really, really high, really low, or the animals moving around the planet constantly to follow the sun? This is the thing. I think there's both, Art. I think it has both. It's got like the extremophiles, which just stay in one place. And they hibernate we'll call them winter months because it gets incredibly cold. They hibernate in the winter months, and then they are more active in the summer months. And that's where they kind of get up. And I say hibernate, and I take that lightly. They actually just freeze. They basically freeze in with everything. If you look at experiments that have been done with the tardigrade, if you look those up, they have pretty much been frozen to almost absolute zero and still been able to be resuscitated. And some of them have been frozen for 30 years and still been able to be resuscitated. That's kind of my idea. Their metabolic functions are lowered so much that they're basically, that there's pretty much nothing going on. And so, but the idea that we're going for is that the animal's going to be migrating. And it will be migrating basically following the sunrise. It'll be following the sunrise for like all of its life. It's just constantly going to be migrating, because if it falls behind, it'll freeze. If it goes too fast, it'll die of heat stroke. And so that's the animal that we're going to be playing around with today and have a fiddle with and try and design, figure out. So that's kind of idea. Following the sunset. Yes, following the sunset. That makes more sense. Brain just kind of did a record scratch and reverse up again. What scientists wouldn't exist? If we didn't live on Earth, most scientists would say that a planet like Earth is stuff of fiction. But tell that to the scientists. Yeah, that makes them feel. Sounds like an alligator who stick their nose up when a river freezes. We've had the alligator freezing allegory already, and I didn't know that alligators could actually freeze. I had no idea that existed. I'm going to take a bite of my Nutella bread because I didn't have time for dinner when I got back, and there's Nutella bread next to me, and is beckoning me, calling my name. Chocolate. The Candle Girl. I've never heard of that movie before. Frogs Can Freeze also. Yes. What was that? Was Simon was talking about a Australian frog that kind of goes underground for, I think, an Australian animal sounds very probable. But then again, Australian freezing. Antifreeze organisms interesting for sure. Like the entire. There's a. Was it like an ice worm? I think they're called ice worms. Know which movie you're talking about? I can't recall the name though. Oh, I don't know. You think you know that frog? Of course, Sam knows that frog. Is this a group project or am I cheating? I mean, it doesn't say that you're not allowed to do it in a group. I don't think any of my lecturers will, any of my tutors will be reading this. It's fine. It's a group project now. It is now. Cheating is just a mindset. We're finding creative ways to find a creative alien. So, yes, the whole idea is that our animal migrates to follow the sunset. Because if it goes too far, it'll burn to death. If it goes not far enough, it'll freeze. Which is a very fascinating thing. And also we have a planet with a very dense atmosphere, which means that like the density of the atmosphere, and we'll say it's an oxygen-filled atmosphere. It's not cheating if you say it's not. Work smarter, not harder, dude. Honestly, I probably could have come up with this entire, if I wanted to be efficient, work smarter, not harder. If I wanted to work smarter, I could do this very quickly. I could just have like a little guy. I could have done a single-celled organism with boring features going like it's very resistant to hot and cold temperatures. It is it's an autotroph organism in a carbon-filled. It's a carbon-based life form. Yeah, I could have made this very, very easier. Work funner. Exactly. That's the whole idea. It's having sources. You guys are my sources. So it has a short lifetime. The creature doesn't have to. It could do so that because it's always moving. So definitely like the generational thing. It's moving. It would have to have a short. I mean, that's also the question of its child rearing. So it couldn't have like a nesting place. It couldn't have eggs. It couldn't lay eggs, so it would have to be some sort of mammal-like creature, and that is live birthing. Because you can't stay in one place for long enough to brood eggs, or just even abandon eggs. Moon Guardian of the Moon. Never heard of it, my dude. Don't know what that is. Never come across it. This organism has adapted to its environment by becoming a professional competitive esports player. Sure. These are absolutely precocial animals at birth, as in they can already start moving. How long is the year on the planet? That's the question. That is also a big question. I think that's quite arbitrary. It doesn't have to be. It can be very. Yeah, it could be anything, and also the whole different biospheres of the planet, I think would be very similar. Because we have a lot of different biospheres. You know, we have deserts, we have rainforests, we have. Tundras, we have temperate forests. I think the sphere, like the biomes, you could say. We're talking about the Minecraft here. The biomes would be very constant. unless you were to talk about different humidity levels in different places due to like wind. We have mushroom islands and soul sand valleys. What, in the same in the same dimension? The year would depend based on how long the organism is supposed to live. Would the organism only live for as long as one cycle? I think it could live for more than one cycle, couldn't it? Would there be a reason for not? It can lay an egg to one place, which will freeze 1 year until the sun comes up again. Oh, dude! Oh, I like that idea. That's a good idea. Hatches at next sunrise. That's a really cool idea. Here we are. The egg is made of uranium. Oh. Well, if the year was super, it would technically. We're talking about like Terran years. We're talking about what a year for us would be. Solar years? What are they called? Earth years? Officially? I call them Terran years, but I think that's a sci-fi term. And don't know. I'm going to take another bite of my bread while I ponder. I think with the hatching in the next sunrise, it would have to hatch in the next sunset, wouldn't it? Wouldn't work with the next sunrise. You're right. There's sunticks. I'm very confused with the sunsets and sunrises. Okay. So, yeah, the planet has a dense atmosphere, so they can basically swim in the air. Oh, no, you're right. Hold on, that doesn't work. Yes, it would have to survive cold and heat. It would have to survive an entire cycle. No, you're correct. Lay them in caves. They'd have to survive cold and heat. Unless you have some sort of, like, how the species kind of grows up in the sense of, it's like you've got a larvae stage, when you lay the eggs at sunset, and then the eggs incubate or like freeze, I guess, through the winter, and then at sunrise they hatch into like their juvenile form, and then escape to caves. And then when they sense that the earth is, the ground around them is cooling down again, they leave the caves, and that's when they start their migrating life. Make it very complicated that I adapted to sunrise or sunset birth. I don't think in an evolutionary sense that would work. What do they feed off of? That's also a good question. Because I think it depends on their larval stadium or their juvenile stadium. That they would... I feel like I should have had the topic of the stream be education instead of art. in hindsight. Ivan, is there anything that has like that kind of alternated generations? Because I've never heard of that before. I can't think of an example. It doesn't feel very biologically. Doesn't feel like it makes sense very biologically. I only see it in plants. If anything, I think like not the hydra, no? where it's kind of like either a jellyfish or like a coral like being. What's it called? Is it not So you've got the jellyfish generation, you've got the other one. I can't. Hydrozoa, that's the one. Thank you. That group is the only way that I know it. So, yeah, if you only see it in plants, I don't know my way around plants as well. Just watch the cheesiest American family insurance commercial ever. You love to see it. Oh dear. So what do we think about the whole concept of laying eggs and then having a juvenile stadium that has to survive the summer heat so that it can then at sunset leave again and lay eggs? I think that complicates things a lot. It's a fascinating concept, but I really think it complicates things past this assignment. For sure, there could be, because this is the whole thing. We're kind of creating this world, and a whole diverse bunch of organisms could live on this world. So there for sure could be an organism on that world that kind of exists like that. Also, by the way, guys, if any of these organism ideas tickle your fancy, feel free to build them out and draw your own version of them. If anything there inspires you. I think complicating things is good for the summon, is it not? Shows more thought went into it. That's true. That's true. That is true, actually. Do we have a because the thing is, though, we'd have to draw a juvenile stage and we'd have to draw the adult stage. Do they go through something like a... do they go through a metamorphosis? Hiya, B-Boss. Thank you so much for saying that, my dude. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for popping by. Go through similar process, similar in style to fur color change on seasons, but with skin type enhancements for the altering temperatures. Ooh, the juvenile is meant to be uranium, man. B-Boss, thank you for following, my dude. I appreciate it. It's lovely to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Over time, I like that. But the thing is, in the adult stage, it wouldn't need to change for temp. It could just stay the same because it will stay at the same temperatures. Egg incubates in winter. Juvenile in summer. And it joins, we'll call it a herd, at next sunset. And there could be like one area on this planet that maybe has like an extensive cave system where they lay their eggs and so the juvenile stadium can work. They use the sunrise to feed and store energy and go through a metamorphosis that uses the heat of the summer somehow. Ooh, I like that. It's me. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a wonderful rest of your day, my dude. This is the hardest school assignment you've ever heard. It's not even mine. The thing is, we could have made this very easy for ourselves, but we're also making it very difficult for ourselves, and that's the fun of it. Okay, so join herd next sunset. I like the idea of, yes, so they can go through metamorphosis. During summer. And so they lose that resistance to the heat, and then they become a migrating species. I like this. I like this. Right. We've gotten to the migration. We've got more ideas for the migration. Again, we had the whole idea is that they kind of swim through the air, Oh, hello. Oh, this is on the wrong layer. Okay. Wrong layer, Kronk. And then we've decided we're going to make an oxygen atmosphere with a carbon-based life form. Because that makes things... Otherwise, it makes it way too complicated for biochemistry. Okay, next point that we have is that I was thinking of like having like a high radiation in the atmosphere, in the sense of the atmosphere reflects, or no, the atmosphere reflects and it absorbs our visible light spectrum, which would be very difficult to draw. I think we'll just make a purple organism to kind of, you know, go like limiting on the fact that we would kind of see some of the wavelengths. If we're on a migration scenario, the planet would have to rotate decently slow, depending on how fast the organism is. I'm getting that right? Yeah. But the planet itself doesn't rotate around its own axis; it rotates around the sun. So if you think about like bird migrations, for instance, they have enough time to migrate across the planet before their breeding season happens. It also depends on the size of the planet as well. Now, when they migrate, are they in constant movement like fish, or do they have a moving sleeping cycle? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe they do have like a sleeping cycle. Because you can't be awake forever. Or I guess they could do it where it could be one of those organisms that can switch off half of its brain at a time. Is that something that exists, or is that something that I've just pulled out my backside from some sort of fantasy sci-fi thing? So that the half of their brain can rest and process information, because any kind of anything with more dolphins can do that. So we have rest, sleep through deactivation of half of brain. Cool. So I think this creature, and it could depend like on the juvenile versus the... You do that too? That's so dicks. Depends on the juvenile versus the adult stage, but I'm thinking the adult stage is aerial. Too tired in the mornings for you not to do that. I think the adult stage is aerial because we have the whole concept of a dense atmosphere, so we can swim through the atmosphere. Not tired but inattentive. I feel that, but funnily enough, not in the mornings, in the afternoons. I find having lectures in the afternoons so difficult, and most of my lectures are in the afternoons this semester, and I find I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling to pay attention. Because I'm like in the after lunch snooze phase, and then I'm kind of like I want to go home. I'm far more awake in the morning. Maybe you're just the alien. Suntix, do you perchance have some uranium within you? Are you made of uranium? Is probably going to be Sam's next question. So rest, asleep, and sleep through deactivation of one brain. I like that. Time's up from 12 to 18 p.m. Really? I think mine are kind of like from 8 to 2. You are not, at least that you're aware. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Just checking. Just checking. So, my thought was I kind of wanted this creature to have different types of eyes. Or like see different things, see different colors than us. And I'm thinking, what if it can see UV light? And I was wondering if it has like insect eyes, like faceted, are they called faceted insect eyes? Because they can see wavelengths that we can't, right? Have I got that right? And my thought is that like the atmosphere of the world lets through different types of wavelengths, because the way that we can see light, the way that it works is the light that we see is pretty much all the light that the atmosphere lets through on Earth. Okay, but here we are. Our visible light spectrum correlates with what our sun emits, and like the spectrum of light that our sun emits. And so maybe the other sun emits different light, and it goes through a different atmosphere, which means that for the organism to be able to see, it would have to evolve a different color spectrum, a different vision of different color spectrum, because the probability of having the exact same color spectrum as we do is very little. So that's my thought process, that it has a different thing. During meditation, they could be found in herds because half are basically keeping the others safe in the air, so they're constantly moving in a fashion. Maybe I agree. Yeah, that's totally a way that you could do it. I'm definitely agree with the herd thing. I don't think they'd be solitary animals. Is anyone else's brain hurting? Oh no, that's not what I wanted the goal to be. I find this a very fascinating thought experiment. So that was kind of like something with the light, because with the way my assignment requests of me is that I need to have four of these features to be based on senses, and this is the sense of sight, how they see color as well. So that's one of the four senses that we have. That was the whole idea with that. The thing is though, if you have a lot of UV light shining in, so if we focus on UV light that this organism sees. You wholly enjoy complicated things? Awesome. The whole thought with these high frequency wavelengths shining in, that's a lot of radiation. That comes with a lot of radiation that could really, really mess up your DNA. So then in that case, with high radiation atmospheres, this creature would have to have some like insane DNA repair systems. It's hotter than our sun. Yeah, basically. Hotter star. I don't know if I have to give like measures. I don't know. It would be really funny if it was a white dwarf. Are white dwarfs really old stars or really young stars? I can't remember. It'd be really young. No, wait. Giants? Wait, I think it depends on the type of star that it is, right? Maybe the DNA is formulated with the intention of high radiation messing it up. White dwarfs are almost dead stars. Very old? Yeah, okay. That's where they are. But like a specific type of old. Yeah, like small stars that never went supernova is what they are, right? Only some become white dwarfs. Yeah, so they're kind of like just fizzling out. Or are they stuff? No, because if something went supernova, then it turns into a black hole or a neutron star. So yeah. They just get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. You, Mr. Lurker, shall say hi and then leave the chat. Hello and bye, Mr. Lurker. Good for you to say hi, to pop by. So that's kind of like, it would definitely have to have some insane DNA repair systems. What do we think of the concept of the DNA being more tightly wound? Because you've got the double helix of DNA. What if this double helix is more tightly wound so that it's harder for it to fall apart? I feel like this is something like that I'm grasping out of the depths of my knowledge, and I don't know if this exists or if this is something that my brain has just been like, yes, this totally exists, but it does not. It's kind of imminent hospice stars. I only just read that. Okay. That's kind of like, it definitely needs like a DNA repair system, where, so that the DNA can stay highly conserved, which would mean not very many mutations. Realistically, it's from another planet, so it won't have DNA. It would have a different system for the same purpose. True. We don't even have to have DNA here. More aggressive and plentiful repair proteins. That's definitely like, I feel like that's almost a given. That feels, I'm just thinking if there's a more creative way to handle it. Maybe not. You ask questions, you don't answer them, you don't have an answer. Yeah, fair. But that's the whole thing. We ask the questions to see if anyone else has like more insight on them. Which is why I'm very happy that we get to do this as a group. Again, I didn't think we were going to do this today. This is just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to add this at the back because I know I have to draw an alien at some point this week. So why not do it on stream? I didn't think this was going to get chosen, but I love that we're here for it. Okay. Insane DNA replication system, repair mechanisms. Your idea was bad yet creative, so you see that as a win? What was the idea? Yeah, the DNA is formula. That's kind of like the base of the idea. Uranium. Oh, maybe a triple helix DNA system, with the third bit of a sort of dissolving as it ages because it's pulled into repair. The breaking double. Ooh. Ooh. This is something where I don't know how plausible this is, but I love the idea. With control and repair. String. And then you've got the coding and the non-coding string, and then you'd have like a separate third string that would be the repair string. That would be fascinating. Tell me why the DNA falling apart because unstable uranium inside of it is useful for any organism in any way. I don't know. I don't know. Oh. That's fascinating, a triple helix. So, now we get, like, this is kind of like the build of the organism. Now we get to like its behavior and its nutrients. And my thought, especially if it's a migrating one, now that is a kind of cool idea. Would be questioning if you saw it. I doubt that, Sam. It losing abilities as it grows because the DNA string that stored it is being pulled apart to repair and go, ooh. Yes, I like that. I like that. It's like telomeres. Is that what they're called in English? Telomere? Where as the DNA replicates, like the ends of the replication get lost more and more. Although I think telomeres, the length of telomeres don't actually, in real life, don't actually give you any indication about the species, the animal's age. I remember learning that in behavioral biology. Because that would be a very good way to determine an animal's age, but it's not possible. Bye, Hydra. Have a wonderful rest of your day, my dude. Because certainly have like a similar concept that does degrade with age here. That's a fascinating thought. Because there would definitely be some genes that are activated and deactivated throughout its stages of life, for sure. Ellie, welcome, my dude. Lurking my procrastinating. You enjoy the lurk. I'm sorry I have food in my mouth. So, I'm thinking if, especially, we're talking about the adult stage here. This is making it very difficult now that we have a juvenile and an adult stage. Basically, we're creating two different species. We're doubling our work. So I'm thinking if we focus on the adult stage now. You get to listen to us working on my assignment for uni. Exactly. Welcome back, Phoenix. So what if we are focusing on the adult animal now, the migrating animal? I had this thought that it was kind of like, it's like a filter. It is a filterer. Thinking of like a big whale with its mouth constantly open, filtering all the microorganisms out of the air. And so it's kind of got a big mouth. I've already done like some very preliminary sketches here. Are you working on your presentation about Switzerland? Ooh, if you have any questions, I am a Swiss person here that I could answer questions without giving too much away. So that they graze off microorganisms while in the air. So, because they're constantly moving, they don't necessarily have time to stop and hunt, or to stop and graze, whatever, maybe plants might be there. So if they're constantly moving. My country in one word, confusion. How so? How so? My country is very well organized, I feel. But I am quite biased because I live in this country. Totally. I am Switzerland. It is me. I am Switzerland. I am here to answer any questions that I could. Would there be a water-forming lake in the sunset? And is there water at all on this planet? That is a question that we have to discuss at some point. That we should discuss at some point. I think we could have masses of land and water. So you kind of have a certain amount. It's like our oceans, right? Where you have land, mountainous terrain. Ellie, in the voice of Darth Vader. Ellie, I am your Switzerland. No. This stream has become derailed. We've been live for almost 2 hours and we haven't drawn a single thing. Oh well. Twitch, don't come after me. We're doing educational stuff here. We're having a good time, okay? So, the adult animals graze off of microorganisms. They definitely probably would have to... if we're thinking of a carbon-based life form that breathes oxygen, albeit probably very dense oxygen because the atmosphere is very dense, I think it still would need to have water on this planet, just to make stuff less confusing. So I think we kind of like have different elevations, and what you could have that in summer, all the oceans dry up, and in like sunset you could have like far more rainfall at sunset. You can have a lot of rainfall at sunset because all the precipitated water is now raining down again because it's gotten colder. Should be better if the oceans were uranium. I thought, Sam, we were going to bring a serious argument here, my dude. Can we have a uranium counter for how often Sam has mentioned uranium here? Anyone who's watching the VOD, please do that. Thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy scrolling back to the start of the stream. I've lost my train of thought here. Called Geiger count. Applicator, yeah, I'm here. Okay, we're back. So oceans on the planet. The oceans would freeze into, I guess, glaciers or just frozen oceans in the night time. But I feel like there'd be a lot of rainfall it's just a big chunk of uranium. Oh, the uranium is infecting others. The uranium talk. I won't be able to say uranium after this. It will have no meaning anymore. I don't think it has any meaning anymore now. So that I think, is my logic flawed here that there'd be a lot of rainfall during sunset? I feel like would that make sense? But then I guess you have tropical rainforests that are like in the hottest parts. I think it depends on general humidity in an area. I don't think so. You don't think my logic's flawed? Could you have like rainy areas where just the humidity is very high? And this depends on like airflow systems, right? Hold on, I need to consult other lecture notes. This was Friday afternoon. Oopsie, wrong button. This was Friday afternoon. I should have foreseen this, that I was going to have to consult a whole bunch of uni notes. Paleoclimate. No, that's not what we're looking at, are we? No, we're looking at wind systems. The week before that. There we go. Global circulation. Yeah, so our Earth is kind of distributed. Our Earth is distributed into layers of dryness and humidity, depending on going from north to south. It's all kind of layered in horizontal lines. So the summer could be very hot but very wet due to all the water standing in the air. True, exactly. So the atmosphere is very dense and the water vapor will go really high up in the atmosphere where it might freeze again. So it'll be anything from hail to warm rain during the sunset, depending on the weather. Ooh. So if we're, hold on, I'm just going to zoom in on this and hope that everything is this gonna be visible. I don't know how to make this not as visible. I'm going to screenshot this and crop. It's basically the way our world works is that it's kind of got bands of. Back to world building, which is supposed to make an alien. That's true. That's true. Oh darn it. Because we have bands of very wet areas, which is blue here, and bands of very dry areas, which is the world shaped the alien in a way. That's true. That's true. And then very dry areas, which is the red here, and then it goes wet and dry and wet and dry. So I guess it depends on what width that they are circling around the planet at. Because either it would always be raining or never be raining. Do we consider that? Or does that just break our brains a little too much? I think that breaks my brain a little bit too much. Welcome back, Snowflake. We'll just say that there's kind of like heavy rainfalls from hail to hot rain. Heavy rainfalls at sunset. Is this a Rain World reference? What's Rain World? Would the rain be boiling water? I think if you go too fast, towards the daytime, then I think it could get very hot. Rain World is a very cool game. I feel like I've heard Rain. Actually, now that I hear it in context of a game, I think I've heard of it before. Have you talked about it before, Sam? I feel like there was a discussion in the Everin Discord about some sort of Rain World not recently at all, but at some point in the past. That does feel like I've heard it before. That's it. That was that conversation. I remember now. Okay. So yeah, they graze off of microorganisms in the air. They're kind of like, they're filter feeders, which is kind of what we have here. And then my next thought is, because I need to go for senses again. You should check it out, but you don't enjoy it. Okay. I guess games are very individual for people. If we're going for senses, because I need to kind of explain 4 different senses. And I think like heat perception, like the perception of when something gets hotter or colder, definitely is going to be one of those perceptions, especially when it comes to migrating and when it comes for the metamorphosis to happen from juvenile to adult stadium. That's definitely a sense that we can talk about. You enjoy the homework, I guess, Snowflake. Hope it's over efficiently and quickly. And fairly painless. Homework can be a faff. This is homework. Actually, this is kind of homework what I'm doing now, but it's fun homework. So another sense that I thought we could do is communication through electroreception. So, you know, like either electroreception or echolocation. I haven't decided which yet. Because, you know, like bats or dolphins, I think, do it too. And that's usually what animals do to find prey. But I like the idea of using it to communicate. What do we think of that whole idea? I don't know if some species still do also use it to communicate. I don't actually know about that. But that's also kind of like a new thought process. Would echolocation work in a dense atmosphere? That was also a question. I don't know. Would anyone know? Would anyone have any more knowledge of that? Because that was something that I wondered as well, and generally wondering how communication would work in a dense atmosphere, because would sound travel easier? There's a species that uses echolocation to speak humans. I mean, touche, actually. Yeah, hold on. Isn't that just... Because echolocation is when something bounces off and you hear it back, but if you're communicating, that means you're going both ways. That means you're speaking, isn't it? Would work faster but less range. I feel like a silly sausage. Because echolocation, if you're looking for something, because it bounces back. But if you're communicating, you don't need the bounce back, you just need the bounce there, then it would just be communicating. But it would work faster but less range. That's not bad if they're in herds. If they're herd animals, that's not too bad. You're back, Miss Maths anyhow. Who needs maths anyhow? Surprisingly, you need maths a lot in life. This is something that I've found through university and a biology degree. Oh, there's a lot of maths needed in biology. Okay. So are we just saying that they can hear 94, 67, quick. 161. Was that right? I don't know. Specifically made a decision that would keep you away from maths. Nice. I win, yay! I can do brain maths. I can do head maths. I've lost my train of thought. I'm proud of myself that I actually got that right. So, okay, echolocation, maybe not. Maybe not. Or is it electroreception? Or am I saying echolocation or electroreception? Hold on, my notes say something different. My notes say don't say echolocation. Electroreception is something completely different. That is, you know, picking up on different electronic frequencies. Do sharks do that? I'm trying to think what animals do that. So that would be a way of communicating. Sending like electronic waves. Would that work? I don't know. Electroreception. Because could you then send out specific electronic waves to be picked up? Essentially just eyes, is it? Is that what electroreception is? Electromagnetic waves are just oh well, okay, ignore me. Boop. Eyes pick up electromagnetic. Okay, I can't remember what my brain was braining when I wrote this down. What I was thinking. Could sing like a whale. Yeah. Sing. Communication through singing. Through music. Okay. Are they moving in a pack? They are moving in a pack. We've had like the talks about a herd. Because they are all moving like at the same time. So yeah. Yeah. Could transmit electricity through the atmosphere between each other. That's I think what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. What would the scientific word for that be? Communicate by Sam, now every time that you type in okay, hear me out, I know that there's gonna be a uranium at the end of that sentence. But what would be the word for what Suntix is describing? Because I think that's what my brain was going for. Is that just telepathic communication? How? How could that work? In a really convoluted... Okay, explain. How would that work? I'm gonna numb on my thing. This is Sam's dream come true. If there's some way that we can build uranium into this animal, Sam will have felt like their life is accomplished. I don't want them to use my uranium. Oh dear. I can't believe we haven't had more of those jokes in this stream. They can use their own uranium. Oh man. I am fascinated now at how this could work. Sending uranium particles. They communicate by sending radiation to each other that's picked up by the next, because we're already in a very high radiation atmosphere. Some might control how much radiation some uranium in their body is giving off to send electromagnetic waves. Dude. You change your tactics and put the hear me out at the end. They figured out the formula. Don't encourage them. Oh. Would that work? This feels far-fetched enough to kind of be something that we can use to explain, but not go into it very deep. Okay. I'm gonna have to like put in brackets. My friend really wanted uranium in this animal. Which is why we kind of have now the specific uranium. Don't use that idea. Why not? It's stupid. It's fun. Because we're already in a highly radiation atmosphere. If it can kind of like, if it has something, some sort of radiation material in its body. I'm just wondering, if it's too far-fetched, because I do kind of need to base it on real-world examples. It's possible repurposing what it's taking from the atmosphere. It's stupid because of how much radiation there is in the atmosphere. You're quite confused. It's making Sam win if you include uranium somewhere. Well, is that a bad thing? Enough to justify uranium in a living organism? Maybe. Maybe. Don't want to feed the beast. Hey, you. Feed the machine, bring them all back down to their knees. We will continue. I don't know, man. This is feeling fairly plausible. How would one control, like chemically, how can one control how much radiation a radioactive isotope emits? Would you change the isotope number? Can that happen? Non-randomly? Make a react with something? There isn't a great way to. Just a chemical reaction? Yeah? A chemical reaction would you? Because this is chemistry that I don't know very well. This is going on to the This is going like really far down the periodic table, and I know very little about that. I did organic chemistry, and that stays with the top row. Let's go for once. Poison from Animatic. It's your favorite artist. Awesome, my dude. I always love it when people find new artists through the stuff that I post, because that is like also part of the reason why I choose the artists that I choose, because I think they're all amazing artists. Put nuclear reactor in a fish. Yes, sure. Maybe we come back to this uranium idea. This is something that would be very visible on the animal anyway, so it doesn't involve its like. It doesn't have anything to do with what it visually will look like. So communicate through changing electric currents? Or that doesn't quite make sense though, chemically. To me. Hi Molly, hello! Electromagnetic sonar, marine creatures that have sonar can be heard farther in water than within the atmosphere. I think it just depends on the frequency, and is it the frequency or the wavelength of the audio wave? A sonar is a mechanical wave, if you recall correctly, as far as you know. Has a chemical in its system as part of the organism filter that can turn what it otherwise doesn't need into messages to each other. Oof. Brain. There would have to be a lot of uranium in the atmosphere for the, it would have to have a lot of uranium in the atmosphere, that's true. We'll put brackets around that. This will be part of the text, isn't going to be visible anyway. And then my final thought is to kind of move up and down in the air. Because if you're floating up and down, you would need something like a swim bladder. In this animal, you'd need to have a swim bladder that can change pressure. You know, either inflate or deflate, change pressure, so that it can go up and down. Well, uranium in the atmosphere means you can't discern the radiation from the atmosphere and from the other aliens in your head. Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah. True. Unless the uranium is only in their like in the water. Nah, then they can't talk while it's raining. Bye, Art. Have a wonderful rest of your day if you don't pop back. But thanks for hanging out for the time that you did. I don't know. But should we start designing this alien? Just trying to think. I guess they wouldn't necessarily have to have a... No, hold on. With the way I'm thinking how this alien could work, they don't actually have to have a air sac, but it would make their travels far more efficient. If it's going up and down through the different layers of air where there may be different weather, to have some sort of armored top to protect it from hail or hot water. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. My immediate thought would be that would make it heavier, but I don't think that matters in this atmosphere. Ooh. I also like the idea. Okay. So we have all these concepts. Let's hide all of this. Maybe have this guy in the corner here as like a reference. And let's get to sketching up this alien. So I am thinking something like similar to a manta ray. Scales on top, maybe? Yeah. I'm thinking maybe like plates of armor, like an armadillo. Potentially. So, and remember, this is the adult form. So the juvenile form will look different. So I'm thinking it could have like armor plates on top, but also have fur to protect it from like cold as well. So fur, how would it do heat regulation? Have sweat glands? Sam just gave you a slime ball, renamed Uranium over on the Ever SMP. Love that. Have something funny. 3 years ago, Grian posted an Among Us video called Playing Among Us with the Hermits and Skiz and Joel were there. He already knew. He already knew that they were going to be part. So here's my thought. We have kind of like, we'd have to have a fairly streamlined form. So it would kind of have like a bit of a fish form, right? Oh, I've just had another bot pop in my chat, but you guys can't see them. Interesting. I'm gonna ban them again. This is weird. Oh, it's not popping up there. Oh, interesting. It doesn't show up on Twitch. It shows up on Streamlabs, but not on Twitch. Can I just click on their name and ban them? Oh, I can do it like this. This is so much easier. Oh, this is so much easier. I love this. Okay, cool. Good to know. Right. So we'd have to have a fairly streamlined body. When do I usually stream? You'd like to hop on more often? I'm trying to do Wednesdays in the European time zone evenings. So I'm trying to kind of do every Wednesday, potentially Thursdays, potentially Sundays. Those are the only 3 days of the week where I'm actually available in the evenings. So that's kind of like the idea, but I'm definitely going to try Wednesdays. Yay, European time. Wednesday evenings, European time. I started today at 6 p.m. Central European time. It could maybe be 5 p.m. It could be 7 p.m. That's kind of like the ballpark that we're playing with. But around about this time every week, if you're able to be here now, then you'll probably be able to be there on different streams. But I'm trying Wednesdays. I couldn't be here last Wednesday because my professor decided to give us a lecture at 5:30 on a Wednesday evening until 7 p.m. on a Wednesday evening, and I was like, thanks, that's exactly prime streaming time, mate. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna try Wednesdays with this semester of uni. I think it generally in my schedule works fairly well. If my professors don't decide to suddenly put a random lecture during that time. That's just mean timing of my... I know, right? He He didn't think that like, oh, I bet he follows and he knows exactly our stream time. And I was like, oh, that's the time for a Miss Katie Row stream. Nah. I'm gonna tell you about the field trips that we're gonna be going on. Try and hop as much as you can as long as you don't have a stupid test or anything. Hey, no stress, but as many times as you can. Be lovely to have you, my dude. So we need streamlined body to get through the air efficiently, but at the same time, big mouth to filter stuff, and to filter. I'm thinking also it would need. I think it would need gills to let the air out, right? I'm thinking it also would need kind of some sort of opening here for most of the air to come out again. And then like the microorganisms go in there and they feed as the filterer. This is for a stress-free time anyway. Awesome. And then it's a question of, do we need a swim bladder? I think we do for like energy efficiency. So like a swim bladder, maybe like around the tummy area, something that is fairly central. I'm thinking like frogs, like they can inflate them and deflate them, so it gives them like quite a larger tummy. So it kind of like inflates out here, but also doesn't throw off their balance. I love how I've kind of drawn this at an angle here. And then what we could have like is like these big sails. This is basically in manta ray, isn't it? We could turn the sails into feathers, because it doesn't need to be a dry. It doesn't need to be like water resistant. It can be dry, so we could have feathers here. Why not? But they need to be resistant to the heat. So what if we had, because we were talking about like kind of like armor on top, right? Armor on top. Feathers are incredibly efficient to catch as much air below the wing as possible, so I think that's actually a good thing to have here. I could also like have a feathery tail. Do they land? Do they have feet? I'm kind of doing a mix between a bird and a fish here. You could have like feet-like things. So some fish have bone fins, so fins that are made out of like many different bones, and they are like very similar to our predecessor that was in the ocean. And you can kind of look at the bone structure and they look... Do we have a name for the species? Oh no, we don't yet. What do we call the name? What do we call the species? What do we call? I'm kind of thinking of a way to maybe play around with our names, like either something to do with Everin, uranium. Don't call it the uranium birdfish. Don't. If you say uranium now, Sam, I'm quitting. Hear me out. Hear me out. Oh, the suspense. So I'm thinking we could have like some fin-like structures here, but they can also work as feet when they land. The uranium birdfish. Yep, there it is. There it is. We have the eyes, and these are kind of like the bug eyes, the faceted eyes, so that it can see many different places. And it has like armor up here, like an armadillo. This is basically just building an animal out of as many different animals as we can. And then if we have feathers, I suggest we kind of not go for fur, but we go for like plumage, like short feathers at the bottom to kind of give it a... I've just had a thought. If we give it gills with the air coming out, there'd be some drag on the feathers. So I'm saying maybe no feathers, like no down feathers here at the front, but like more in the body, so that it can like keep the essential organs warm. Can it take off again once it lands? That's the question. I think it can, because it has to land to lay its eggs. But how? I think that's how we work with, like, it takes a lot of energy to take off, especially through a dense atmosphere. But then as soon as it starts taking off, then we're good. Maybe it could like lay its eggs in like a canyon. So it's like in a canyon that goes like really fairly low down, that only very rarely has direct sunlight, only in a very certain period of time has direct sunlight. And so and it's a very specific breeding ground for these creatures. That is only along like one stretch of the entire planet. So the creature needs. Does it reproduce asexually? No, I think it reproduces sexually. The question is, do they copulate during flight? Or do they copulate during while they're, yeah, that's the question. While on the ground. Is there like a breeding time where they kind of, I think they'd have to during flight. Do the sexes look different? That's a good question. Another variation. I think you could play around with like the plumage of the feathers to have like sexual attraction between male and like having them. I think they'd kind of have the same body shape and size, because they both need to have the same like endurance, and they don't have very parental roles in the upbringing of their offspring, so don't think they need to necessarily have any parental care. So if anything, it would be kind of for attraction. One needs to land and take off, the other might. Not true. True, the female needs to land and take off, probably. Might be more than two sexes. That breaks my brain sometimes, honestly. Unless you're looking at like, if you're looking at like male, female, and a hermaphrodite, as possible like one that can do both. Is it called hermaphrodite? Is that the right term, or is that something different? I hope I haven't just said something offensive. I'm unsure now. Maybe they change? I'm sure they could totally have like a thing that if there's too many males in a group, that one of them can turn into a female and vice versa. Like clownfish, yeah. There's a bunch of fish that do that kind of thing. I say we don't do too much visual variation. In theory, only one of them does need to land though, so that's interesting. That is very interesting. You could have it where only the females have like these little leg protrusions, because only they would have to land. But then again, they all have to be on the ground and will all have to take off again at some point, so I think they both need that. So maybe they copulate on the ground, and then the female immediately lays the eggs. Maybe that's like a very thing person. I hope Twitch doesn't flag this because we're talking about this kind of thing. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it's not a bad thing. This is education, guys. Hypothetical education. What can an alien look like? So I think there shouldn't be much variation because we've already got like variation between juveniles and adults. This will be more work. What do we think of like this as a concept? If we like it, then I think I might just go a little bit more detailed in the sketch. So let's see. We have like we have a head. And then a very streamlined body that would kind of like go to a point here. Here. And then like this area here could inflate or deflate. They travel in a herd. We've decided. And this is kind of like a bag that they can inflate or deflate depending on how high up in the atmosphere they need to be. I'll just have that as like a separate layer. And then I think we make the wings like fairly at the top of their body. Okay, let's figure out the tail first. So let's give it like a feathered tail. And armored plating at the top. It has a big gaping open mouth that's perpetually open to inhale the microorganisms and filter them out with like gills on the inside. I'll have to look at what like a manta ray looks like. But that kind of like filters the air. That leaves very little room for the eyes. So we'll have like the eyes above here. Which means the brain would probably be like somewhere around here. So it breathes, but it also, it breathes like through the air, but it also filters it around that time. We could also just have a normal eye, I guess. It doesn't have to be like an insect eye. It just sees in the UV spectrum. So very streamlined. Now we need like the plating. So I think the plating can kind of start right after the lip. I guess it would have to start like on the lip, wouldn't it? In theory. Because it's protecting from the rain coming from above. And the plating would also kind of go over the eye. Does the rain maybe have some like acid in it, which causes for like even more need of protection? But I guess that would make that would mean that the feathers also need like some sort of protection. And so then we'd have like the second wing here, or the wing here. And what I'm doing here is kind of like doing it very similar to like a fish fin, where instead of the fins, where you kind of like got one part that they move a bit, and then the rest is just like attached to feathers. I think the wing would have to definitely be bigger. Hold on. So if we I might just do it, have the wings separately here. So like color code it. Just trying to think how I can do this. Let's move all this up a bit. And then have kind of like the feathers attached here. I guess the top of it could still have like plating. Potentially, because this will also be like exposed to the elements. And then have like multiple layers of feathers. Do they even have to be feathers? They could just be long, elongated scales, I guess. I don't know. They have to be fairly sturdy if we're kind of going up against like the atmosphere like that. So I'm just colouring this in red to kind of highlight that this is the same thing and this is where the wing would protrude out of. I still don't know what we're going to call this. I don't know what we're going to call this guy. Or gal. Or what? Something in between. So, and this is kind of like the bag that can inflate or deflate. Color that blue maybe. And we'll give the entire like animal its own colors in purple. What do we think? Is there any elements that I've forgotten to add? Irradiation, UV light. Let's put these below so I can see what I'm doing. Grades of microorganisms. No, I think this isn't bad. Is it prey animal? Does it need camouflage? Potentially. Potentially it is a prey animal. I don't know. That depends on what we have in otherwise in the ecosystem. It's also the question of how big is this animal? Because if it's like the size of a whale, it probably isn't necessarily prey animal, but it is fed off of when it dies and then sinks to the bottom of the atmosphere. Or if it's smaller, like maybe it's the size of a seal. Because I think if it's a filter animal, then it would have to be pretty big, especially with that mouth. I'm saying like minimum the size of a seal. I think it would still have to be fairly large if it's filtering through its mouth. No, you know, let's make it about the size of a whale. Then it wouldn't necessarily be a prey animal. Let's make it about the size of a whale, solely for the fact that I love the idea of a whale flying through the sky. Use feathers and the underbelly for that to make it blend into the sky, which should give it its colour scheme. Yeah, for sure. We could make like I think it has to be like a bit of a purple atmosphere with the whole idea of it being a UV, an atmosphere that kind of only really lets UV light through. Cool. So this is what the adult animal looks like. Just realized I have made this blue on the wrong layer. Blue needs to be on this layer. And then we make it dark. So the whole idea is that like this wing would attach here, but that would hide like a lot of the details. So that's the adult animal. Now what would the juvenile have? I say no feathers for sure. Does it go through like real metamorphosis? Is the juvenile just a worm? Could just have it a worm. Fluff. Fluff. Oh yeah, fluff. We didn't do the fluff. It looks more like scales than it does down feathers. A lot of this will be annotated through. And I'll also make the belly. It needs to be very small fluff so it doesn't drag in the wind. Definitely wouldn't have the armor plating on top as a juvenile. Yeah, I don't think so either. I was pondering maybe it would, but I don't see the reasoning for it because the way I was pondering is that it would have the armor just to protect for the sun, but I think we decided that they exist in caves. Welcome back, Art. What am I missing? How much uranium have we added? We have not added any uranium, and we've kind of got the sketch of the first adult. So like this is kind of its wing that would attach here, but it would be hiding a whole bunch if we attached it there. And we have the armor plating. And what I might do is I might just kind of color this in like a fairly dark color. Show that this is the inside of the mouth, because otherwise my brain can't quite compute that. No uranium, yeah. So we kind of have the adult animal finished, we think. And so we have like high intense purple. Because the atmosphere would look, or would it look purple? I think it would. I think generally that's all that we can see. That's all that we can fathom as human beings, because we can't see ultraviolet light. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a multiply layer. Maybe not a multiply, maybe an overlay. Yeah. Perhaps could have full armor plating as juvenile to protect it from ground things that want to eat it. Then it sheds some of it during metamorphosis. Ooh, I like that. I didn't think about that. Got you some warm apple cider. Let's go. Enjoy that. Sounds lovely. Right, so we have the adult stage. And then we have the juvenile stage. I say the juvenile's for sure smaller. Maybe it has like insects. Wow, we have got so many bots today. You probably guys don't see it again. There you go. Are the waters of this habitat anoxic, no oxygen? I think there would be oxygen in them. I don't see why not. I think it all depends on the other organisms out there. So hold on, let's duplicate this, flatten, and have this like small in the corner so that we can reference the adult when we have the small guy as well. So I'm saying this small guy has legs, right? He needs legs to crawl around. I'm very confused by the fact that we are sketching in black and not in white. Okay, small guy has armor plating. Maybe it could be like some sort of crab-like being. Now the question is, does it have like a metamorphosis, or does it just kind of grow up and grow out of stuff? Because I think on the ground it would have to hunt, wouldn't it? Either hunt or gather animal. So it lives in a cave now with water last time. I say we're not on a planet that is fully covered by water. There is definitely land. But there's also like ocean. So it's similar to our world in that sense, geographically. But they kind of, I say that there's like this canyon that these species go to breed in. Because they can lay their eggs fairly close to the floor. Fairly close to like the floor of the canyon, so that not a lot of direct sunlight hits it, and it's a lot cooler in the summer months than it would be on the surface, right? Of course, it would still be very, very cold in winter, and the eggs would incubate by freezing, and then they'd thaw out and then start their juvenile cycle, which would be half a year during the quote-unquote summer months. And in that juvenile stage, it kind of grows. I think it would have to have a metamorphosis, wouldn't it? So, because it's so different. Yeah. So I say it would have to have a metamorphosis, and I say it kind of needs like... It needs to be a hunter, I think, in this phase of its life. So it needs to have like sharp teeth or pincers, or... It could have a beak. Let's give it a beak. Beak, pincers. Just trying to think. I think. No, I tell you what. Let's give it pincers, because this can kind of be a part of its exoskeleton that it then loses to give way for soft tissue. And I say that like the exoskeleton kind of goes far further around. Hiya Noah, hello my dude. Bye Sam, good night my dude. I'm guessing it's pretty late for you. Welcome back Dragon, you've returned. See, now you've subbed for 24 months. And now you should get it. Now it actually says it. Yeah, that's weird. Strange. I don't know how that worked. So we're back. We're doing like the juvenile animal here, and this guy has legs. How does it have legs? What kind of legs? How many legs? Does it just kind of go boop? Like 6? You would continue. Lobsterish to sky whale? Yeah, why not? I think I like the idea of like having like lobster-like claws. So instead of maybe lobster claws, we kind of give it like scissors. So instead of like the big claws, we have it very, very sharp, very straight. And then that can maybe, and that's like maybe made out of hard, out of the hard armor stuff that then kind of then turns into feathers. Yeah? Maybe? I think we should maybe make it a bit further back. Does it have an exoskeleton or bones? I think it would have to have both. If you look at if you think of the adult stage, it kind of has I think it has to have both. And I think that's something that Metamorphosis shouldn't change, where it has exoskeleton in juvenile stadium and bones in the adult stadium. It has kind of like armadillo armor at the top. And that's what I'm kind of considering this is. Armadillo armor. But bioluminescence for living in the bottom of a dark canyon. Maybe. But the thing is, I guess it's not actually going to be that dark, especially in the summer months. And that's when their juvenile stadium is. It's never going to be completely dark because it's never going to be nighttime, aka wintertime. And then it has many different legs. So we have kind of like 8 legs, and like the second row of legs are the arms, I guess. Dudes, what is it with? Hold on, I've got another bot. I've never had this before. This is really weird. So many. So in this stage of its life, it hunts. We make the pincers a bit bigger. Make him easy target and not be really convenient if you can echolocate. True. That is something that we didn't quite decide on. It's almost like how turtles have bones and shell. Yeah, there we go. And my taste in music, we got the fantasy vibes going on with our sci-fi-ness. If you're interested, like I have like a fantasy playlist on Epidemic Sound. That's where all these songs come from. And like the main people on my playlist are people like Adriel Fair. I have a lot of their music on there. The song that's playing now is by Bonnie Grace. Those are my 2 main people of my playlists. Christopher Mo Dietlevsen. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But that's also someone that I have a lot in my playlist. And Deskant. Deskant. Also a lot in my playlist. Those kind of artists, if you're looking for that kind of music, you got them there. Does it have eyes? It does. This void eye here. Obviously these guys are void-eyed. It's a void-eyed being. In fact, you know what? Let's just make this guy a void-eyed being. Why not? Why not? Boop. They must have void eyes if they're on the Everin channel. So this is like the baby stadium. And I think we make him mainly grey. For one reason, it could be like a color that we can't actually see. Like a brownish grey maybe. But also so that it kind of blends into its environment. I mean, that's a question of what its environment looks like, but I'm thinking like it's maybe in a cave, dirtiness, dirt. So yeah, there's not a lot of like color differentiation here. What it tastes like, is it edible? It tastes like lobster. Is it edible? I mean, the question is, do you want to consume copious amounts of uranium to eat it? It lives in a very radioactive atmosphere, so it's going to have a lot of radioactive stuff in it. So it's probably not going to be very healthy to eat for humans. Depends on the constitution of the ground. Exactly, yeah. Okay. You willing to try? So I'm just nomming on a grape, and I forgot that the grape had seeds that I had to pick out. So it wasn't as seamless and quick as I thought it would be. So, adult, And then we kind of like have the juvenile. Oopsie. We kind of have like him in a corner here. Oh, pardon me. You could try, yeah, you could try it if you want. Why should I go from? I'm picking grape seeds out my mouth. Oh, for goodness sake, come on. Adult. And juvenile. Boop. Nope, hello. And move it over here. As there we go. And as there we go. So that's a juvenile. Have that in the corner. I'm allergic to my alien? Yeah, apparently. As it seems. Okay. So what if we were to, what we could do is we could move this, oh, hello, not you. Hidden layer. Ah, I'm on the wrong layer. Move the wing. There, maybe make the juvenile a bit smaller. I want this all to fit on one page. Is my plan. And shouldn't it be bright green to blend in? If its environment is pure uranium. Yeah, maybe it should. That is true. I need to have space to also annotate this. So. Ah. Juvenile, you are in the way. Let's make the adult. We'll plonk this up here. There you go. Right. Oh, I'm gonna have so much text with this. Oh dear. But that's fine. What do we think? Should we have like an image of the cocoon as well? How'd you add cocoon? Like that? Just came out of school. Hi, Ivy. Hello, hello. Is that here at cocoon? Do I need to Google this? Could literally just be it's sat on a rock. And it's kind of like just covered itself in rock-like substances. Kind of you could have like the exoskeleton has grown and kind of encapsulated it. Is this side to side accurate size-wise? No, I don't think so. I think this guy is the size of a blue whale. And this guy is the size of a lobster. Colors are nice, right? So like max 30 centimeters, this guy. Like, how big? 30 meters? So like this guy's 100 times bigger. And they basically, after they come out of the cocoon, they grow to become that size. Right, that's how that works? Or after a metamorphosis, can a creature grow? I guess you could kind of allude it to like hatching. So it's hatched once, had a juvenile stadium, then its metamorphosis hatching again. Could it eat meat? Yes, it could. Oh yeah, it could be eaten then, absolutely. But they're not carnivores, they eat quote-unquote plankton in the air. do we think? What do we think of this guy? I'm obviously going to add like my text and my essay to this. But like just solely from the art perspective, what do we think? I'm actually really happy. I'm not going to draw the cocoon. I might later. But I think that would just kind of almost disturb what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. So that I've got more space to annotate them on the side here. Works better. Woo! Yes, it could eat you, but it won't because its taste. Might it cocoon near the cliff so it can throw itself off the cliff to help take off for the first time? Potentially. Potentially that could be like a case of it at the bottom of it's at the bottom of a canyon. Non-alien plankton. Exactly. It's adorable, but it scares me. Awesome. Love that. I like the idea of it, like I said, it being them breeding at the bottom of this canyon to give these to give their kids like the best chance of surviving the hot summer. And then when they feel it getting cooler, or so thought process. What kind of alien are we drawing? This is kind of like, this is for a uni assignment where I have to design my own alien. And we haven't actually given them a name yet. We have the perfect space here to give them a name. What do we call them? What do we call them? So this is the whole concept of, we're on a planet where the planet itself is tidally locked, which means it can't turn around at its own axis due to the strong gravitational pull of a moon. So it can't turn around its own axis like our Earth does every day, but it can turn around their sun. So this means that the seasons and the daytimes are kind of like the same, which means you have very hot days, aka summers. We've been calling them summers, where the sun shines on the planet, on one side of the planet for like 6 months. If we say that it's a solar year, it's a year like our world, and then for the other 6 months it's freezing. It's a freezing planet, and we've come up with the concept of this animal that it migrates in its adult life. It migrates following the sunset, so it keeps flying after the sun to avoid being in the really, really cold sphere, but also be in the very, very hot sphere. But it lands in a specific canyon in a very specific canyon on the planet to lay its eggs. And the eggs incubate during the winter time, so basically they kind of freeze and there's not a lot happening, but they thaw out during when it gets warmer again. So at sunrise they thaw out and hatch. And then during the summer months, they are like in their juvenile stadium. And here's where I like this idea, because they're at like the bottom of this canyon, you've kind of got the direct sunlight on the canyon for a very short amount of time, depending how far down it goes and how wide the canyon is. Here's my thought. What if they were to climb up the canyon wall to follow the sunlight? And that's kind of like their inclination that their juvenile stadium is over and they need to start thinking about metamorphosis. And so they climb up the side of the canyon following the sunlight. And then at some point they cocoon up and then are able to, when the sun actually does set or is close to sunset, when all the other adult animals are there, it can hatch out of the cocoon and join the adult herd. And it's got like armadillo-like plating at the top to protect from heavy rainfalls and hail, because there's going to be very wacky weather at sunset, because you have that transition between really hot to really cold. And changes color before it dies? Maybe. Potentially. But it has like this armadillo armor at the top. Also, another thing with the atmosphere, the air on this planet is very dense. So it basically swims through the air, which means it kind of needs this swim bladder as well here, so it can deflate and inflate, so it can go up and down. And it has these feathers that it helps it fly/swim. And it has down here for it to, you know, keep warm against the cold winds. And it's a filter feeder. So it filters microorganisms through its mouth here, out gill-like things, so that's where the rest of the air kind of flows out of. And yeah. When they cocoon is at the start, middle, or the end of the summer day. I think it's the end of the summer day, because the sun is like close to setting. And so what if they kind of follow the sun up as it's like setting up? Because if you think, you kind of have like the canyon, right? So if we kind of hide both of these layer groups. So you have like this canyon where they lay their things in. So the adults fly in, lay their eggs, which then, when it's nighttime, they freeze. But when it gets to daytime, so imagine like the sun is here. And it's like casting light coming down into the canyon. Thank you, great canyon. Thank you, thank you. Whoa, extraterrestrial technology is fun. It totally is, Koning. Hi. You've been up to 22 months you've been around, my dude. Thank you so much for resubbing. 21-month streak. Wow, thank you so much, my dude. 2 more months before we have another scroll in chat. Hello. Hi, Koning. How you doing, my dude? So the sun kind of like starts shining on this cave, on this side of the wall. 2 years just around the corner. Yeah, that's so cool. And it heats up, and like through it'll heat up this wall, and like the heat will transfer along everything else, even before the sun properly hits it, which will thaw out these eggs. And then we have the juveniles, the little grey guys, the little lobster guys. And then, as the sun is kind of nearing its peak, this is when they have to kind of like be very prepared, protected against the sun, because man, those are some intense rays. Canyon should help them not die of heat too, because it'll stay cooler. Exactly, that's the whole thought. That's the whole thought. There will be a short period of time where the sun is shining directly on them, so there might be like some outcroppings they have to scurry into to hide there. But at some point, the sun will be nearing sunset, and let's maybe make this orange, because sunsets are always orange, right? That's how that works, right? Right? So, oh, that's a very, very intense orange. So it would be nearing sunset, meaning that the sun will no longer be directly on the floor, but like be climbing up the other side of the canyon wall. And so I'm imagining like the juveniles would then start climbing the cavern wall, following the sun as it goes up and up and up and further. And at some point, they will get into their little cocoons and incubate. Is that what you... I don't think that's what you say to a cocoon. But they go through metamorphosis to when the sun maybe like is properly shading them. They're in proper shadow. They're like, crap, I gotta go. So they hatch into the big adult animal, and we'll use purple for that. They hatch into the adult animal and then fly away with the rest of the herd, because like there's a whole bunch of them there. So that's the whole idea of their juvenile stage, and how how they're driven by sunlight and warmth through their like developmental steps. I love that. Red Scout at night, Sailor's Delight. That's it. How it works. Welcome back, Vulcan. Welcome. To people who are just coming in, we have this alien that we've come up with. We haven't got a name for it yet, but we have like 2 stages. We have juvenile stage that kind of looks like a lobster, and an adult stage that is a bird whale, pretty much. And I explained just now how like on our world of perpetual summer/day or winter/night, how these juveniles exist. Since the day is so long, it'll be a bit in the cocoon. Yeah, it depends on how, exactly, it depends on how slowly we, or how long we count this year, how close it is to the sun, how quickly the period is the orbital period. Yeah. So this is what we have. Now we need to come up with a name, guys. We need to come up with a name for the guy. And no, it's not going to be... it's not going to be uranium... uranium lobstridus. Yes. Sam kept trying to convince us to put uranium in the creature, which we could never really find a proper reason for. So it's not happening. There's going to be no uranium. Life on nearly non-rotational planets always going to be funky. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is a tidally locked planet, so it doesn't actually rotate around its own axis. Lobstridius? So we're doing Latin name, and we're also doing... Oh, I like Avis Pisces. In Sam's honor. Yeah, birdfish in Latin, Avis Pisces. Or we could call it Avis lobstrilium. Lobstridius. So bird lobster. Hello, hidden layer. Oh wait, the second one has to be lowercase. Oh, Avis locusta, I like that. Let's do that. I've confused myself. What was this layer on? No? Oh, it's on there, okay. Need more space to write the name. Right. Avis locusta. That's a scientific name? What is it? The Everin bird whale. Lobster and uranium in Latin. I don't know. What do we call it in its non-scientific name? So its English name. Does it have one, or do we just call it that? Bob. Okay. Bob. I'm just trying to think if there's anything like wordplay we can do with Everin or Row or could have the Rowerin. Then like, cause it rows the. Is it like kind of combining Row from Katie Row and Everin? Rowerin. Like that. Sky rower? Well lobster? Yeah? The rowerin? I'm really bad at coming up with names, can you tell? Ba-da-bum-bum. Let's just give this a nice bit of background color. Whoop. Oh, isn't it pretty? Do we like it? Ooh, I like the idea of combining it with a wyvern. Oh, I never drew feet. I need to draw feet on this guy. This guy needs feet. Because otherwise they can't land. Means I need to move the wing a bit. And the only reason that this wing is here is just kind of like so that you can see the rest of the body better. I need to draw feet. Yes, I do. Do I have a stream archive channel? Yes, I do. If you do !VOD, or exclamation mark VODs, and then you'll have the VOD channel pop up. I can't remember which one it is. Oopsie. Feet. That's the thing I need. But I'm thinking it's like it's very similar to. Lobster. I like the idea of adding wyvern, but I don't quite know how. I don't know how to add feet either. Just trying to think, because if we're saying this is the size of a whale, it needs something that is a lot more substantial to help it move. I don't know. Could just give it bird feet. I'm just going to do some sort of shape here and say it tucks its feet in. We don't have to draw everything, but we do have to draw down on it. And we'll make that a different color as well, like a lighter blue. And then we need to take this purple and color over it again. Okay. Whalevern, birdvern, wyvern, fish, I don't know. Just passing by, see you all. See you later, Koning. Bye-bye. Does it need feet in its adult shape? It needs to land, right? It needs to land so that it can lay its eggs. It can land as it munches. It needs to be able to land and take off. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Just making it darker to hold it distinct from the rest of everything. Maybe we need green feet. Let's give it some green feet. But I first need to give it purple. Just to keep it definitely like visibly different from everything else. Okay, does it waddle? I can definitely see it waddling. It doesn't need to like walk very far. But I kind of like, maybe I do just quickly draw like fluffy bird feet. Sort of like that. And then fluff. And I've done that on the wrong layer. Wrong layer, croc. Copy and paste. And then you can get colored in. And we can color it in purple. Because we really don't, it really doesn't make a difference what color we actually give this guy, because we won't be able to see it. its actual color is. I like the idea of the wyvern, but I don't think I'm going to add it. What do we think? I think we're done. Yeah? We've designed our alien. Mantavern. It sounds like we're trying to give like animal versions to my friend Vernalopia, aka Vern. Also a Twitch streamer, by the way. You should go check her out. She's streaming again. It's like with every Vern I see, it's like, I know it's a Y, but it just reminds me of Vernalopia. I think we're done, are we? I think this is our alien. Man, I love the world that we've come up with. Thank you so much, guys. This has been fantastic. I've loved this. I hope you guys have too. I didn't think... I'm just curious. Has the poll changed from Nerdy Science Talk? No, we're still pretty much the same in what we were doing. There's people asking... I draw live series people as an alien. Adding the feet has only made me more scared of it. Yeah, it's kind of a scary foot, isn't it? I was kind of going with the bird side of things. But yeah, I'm happy. I didn't think that we were going to do my uni assignment. We love it. Vernalopian fish. Yes. This is if Vernalopia were a fish bird, then yes. Dudes, thanks so much for helping me with my astrobiology assignment. Awesome. We love ourselves some exobiology, astrobiology stuffs. We got to design an alien. This is so cool. I'm going to write text about it and hand it into my tutors. This is awesome. Fun times. I hope our tutors enjoy what we've come up with. Thank you so much for the help. This would never been half as cool without you guys. This makes me really happy. Thank you. I had a really good time. Like I said, I'm going to try and go on to doing streams on Wednesdays. I'm actually going to put you guys on this screen here because we're going to be finishing. That'll be it. That was a stream for today. We've drawn an alien. We've designed our very own alien. I love it. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to do Wednesday evenings. Wednesday evenings are the goal. Or, European Wednesday evenings. Wednesday evenings for Europe. That's the goal. We'll see if I can fit in another stream every week. I'm kind of getting into the uni stuff. That was really fun. So I had to drop for a while for work, but the final product is gorgeous. Thank you, Vulcan. No worries. Work is definitely more important than stream. You don't ever need to feel bad about that. But yeah, I'm kind of getting into the swing of things with the new university semester. Obviously having a lot of fun, as you can tell. And I just need to figure out a way to have the online world and the content creation and the streaming, how that works around university life, right? Because obviously my education is the most important thing. But I defo still really enjoy streaming, and even if it's just once a week or maybe sometimes once every 2 weeks, depending on if my professors are being a-holes. Yeah, I'm going to try Wednesday evenings. Do my best for Wednesday evenings. And I'll try my best if Wednesday evening doesn't work to let you guys know. I completely forgot that last week. Yeah. That is the plan. And along those lines, we could definitely revisit some of the other drawings from the poll. I think the next one was speedrun Inktober prompts. I think that would be fun for a stream. Give me like 10 minutes to do every Inktober prompt, and then we see how many we get through in a stream. That would be fun, because Inktober is always one of those things. I think the challenges are really awesome, but I never have the time every day to sit down and do like full ink drawing. So yes, I think that would be certainly some fun. And I also do still want to share my thoughts on the Pale Garden and the creaking, I think is what it's called, on the new Minecraft biome, because I have thoughts. And that's all that I'll say. I won't say whether they're positive or whether they're negative. I just say I have thoughts and I want to draw it. I want to draw like an eerie, spooky thing. I think I'll also work for the spooky season that we're getting into with October. But having said that, as projects continue behind the scenes, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I'll hopefully see you next Wednesday evenings. Wednesday evenings is the Miss Katie Row ever and streaming time. Woo! Halfway through the week to help you through hump day. It's called hump day, right? Wednesdays? Anyway, enough of my blabbering. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. And I'll see you next time. All that is left for me to do is to send you guys off into the void that is the internet. Bye, guys. Also, love that emote from Marty. Bye-bye.